Mead can be an incredibly delicious drink to brew at home, but it does require a lot more time and patience compared to beers and ciders. For hundreds of years, mead has been associated with weddings. In fact, back in the day, it was expected of the father of the bride to provide the couple with enough mead to get them through their first month together. It actually is the origins of the word honeymoon. Inspired by this history, not long after proposing to Charlotte, I thought it'd be a really nice idea to brew my first and so far only mead. My thinking here was that I thought it'd be a really nice wedding gift for all of our friends and family as little favours, but it didn't quite work out that way. I followed a really simple recipe and added no additional flavourings. The only ingredients was honey, water, yeast nutrient and yeast. I did also use Captain tablets to sterilise the honey before I added the yeast, so to avoid any nasties developing in the fermentation. I messed up royally when it came to adding the honey. I definitely added probably half as much as I should have. I think I added about 2 kilograms, possibly even just 1 kilogram. I ended up with a very low ABV mead. In fact, it's 5.5%, which isn't terrible, but most of the time you'll see professional meads be around 10%. So anyway, a year into making this mead, me and Charlotte were very excited and gave our first ever try of it, and it was horrible. So we left it for another year, and we tried it not long before our wedding, and it was still horrible. The second tasting really showed that this mead was no good, and so we decided not to give it away as wedding gifts, as I didn't want to poison my grandmother. Fortunately, even though no one was drinking mead on the wedding day, we still had an absolutely brilliant time. One of the best days of my life, probably the best day of my life. And we had a really nice honeymoon afterwards. Even though we didn't actually end up drinking any of this mead I made, we still had a really good time, and I got to ride on a steam train. So I thought, before I pour all this mead down the drain, that I would give it one final taste to see if it's any good and see if it's actually worth you trying to make mead for your own wedding day or just for fun. So here's the bottle. You'll see that this has got the date of when I bottled it, which is August 2020. So this has been in the bottle for over 2 years now. So let's open it and see if it's matured into a really lovely mead. So as you can see, it's incredibly clear. It looks like wine, really. But yeah, since drinking other meads, I think that it's clear that this hasn't had enough honey in it, which is why it's so clear. I think if it had more honey, it would have ended up being a little bit more dark. Smell-wise, smells like wine, along with just a tiny hint of honey. It smells quite pleasant, actually, quite floral. The honey that I used for this was wildflower honey, so it's quite a mixed type of honey, which could have been part of the problem as to why it didn't taste very good. But maybe it does taste good now. I'll give it a sip. Oh, oh God. Oh, that's god awful. Oh, tastes like flowers, but not in a nice way. It tastes so alcoholic. I can't believe it's only 5.5%. I've had meads that are like 11% that go down so smooth, but this does not. Oh, oh no, no. No, that's the last drop of that I can drink. Oh. 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 So as well as going on a steam train during our honeymoon, we also went on lots of nice walks, visited lots of lovely towns and villages in Devon, and we ended up visiting the biggest meadery in the UK. Lime Bay Winery make absolutely incredible meads. I'm such a big fan of theirs. We really struggled to choose which 2 bottles to buy, but we went with ginger and lightly spiced, which we're going to be enjoying this Christmas. So I was chatting to one of the brewers there when we visited, and I was really surprised when they gave me this top tip for making mead. And I'm going to use it the next time that I try making mead, which is to add sugar. When you're fermenting your honey, there should actually be a load of added table sugar, because the yeast ends up first fermenting that table sugar, and it results in the fermentation of the honey not being as aggressively done. And that means that you get more of a honey taste in the final product. I don't think I can make worse mead than what I've done so far, so any improvement will be massive for me. I think I'm also going to use a much higher quality of honey next time round. To watch me successfully brew something, check out this video where I brewed a bitter using carrots.